Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T and your mid-January 2023 reading for the sign of Libra. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome, and if you are coming back, welcome back. I also want to thank everyone who's donated to my Buy Me a Coffee account. I truly appreciate anything really coming my way. And if you're not aware and you would like to make a donation and help support the channel and help support me as I do this on my free time, I am a working person myself, you can find the link at the bottom of the description box. You just copy and paste that into your browser, it'll take you right there. It's really simple, and honestly, coffee and tea isn't that expensive. It's just a way to show some appreciation and support if you're able to and feeling generous, okay? So I just thought I'd mention that. So we're opening up a general inquiry for Libra for the month, or mid-month of January 2023. Hope the holidays were good to you, Libra, now that we're getting on into the year. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. King of Clubs. You might be dealing with a fire sign. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I have to obviously pull more cards and turn these cards over to see if this is a person, or it could be you embodying this energy. Generally, this is a person who has some power and authority and control. It's not gender specific, so it's not necessarily male, but there's that air of dominance with it, as opposed to a queen energy. Generally, this person is a very good support. They have a solid head on their shoulders, and they're a good source of guidance, advice. They're often in the role of being a mentor or a counselor, even like a spiritual authority. And you do have a Queen of Diamonds energy here. Now, this first of all, I'll say it's an earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but for some reason I always associate this with Taurus. I think because Taurus, and it's diamond, so it has to deal with pentacles, therefore material matters. I just always see Taurus as being the most practical in that area as far as the earth signs go. It's been my personal experience. That doesn't mean that that's the rule. So you could be dealing with a Taurus. Again, this could be you exercising some authentic power and authority in the area of finances, which is exciting. Yeah, very practical minded, very, not prone to impulsiveness, for example. They will be generous. It's not about being, stingy, but they can be frugal. 7 of Spades, 5 of Clubs. Something was revealed here that needed to change. So some truth came out. That's the 7 of Spades energy, and as a result, something needed to change, hence 5 of Clubs. It's about renovations. It's about do-overs. It's about sometimes things not being in your control necessarily. But there was something very unsatisfactory about this information that came out, or a truth. Maybe it was a relationship, for example, and you came to a realization yourself that something needed to change, or not. Yes, needed to change, but you came to a realization of a truth within yourself, is what I meant to say. And therefore you were like, well, now that I have admitted this to myself, I have to change this situation. It could have been something along those lines. Doesn't have to be relationship, though. It could also be career. Especially since we have Pentacles out here. But I am staring at these, this King and this Queen, and it's like, wow, that definitely could be like the two people involved in a relationship. Now, you are an air sign, but you could have the earth in your chart. You could have the fire in your chart. Seven of Hearts. Yeah, heartbreak. Heartbreak. That was a combination of heartbreak and heartbroke. Heartbreak. Um, Someone let you down. That was probably the fact here of something being revealed. Um, you saw a side of somebody probably you didn't recognize, until it showed itself. But there's a sense of loss with this, disappointment. It's generally, I'll just say the card is generally like the fly-by-night card. If you're familiar with that phrase, it's like something was really good in the beginning and then it quickly became a big source of pain and disappointment and hurt. So let's go ahead and ask from our cards. Tell me more about Libra's situation here in mid-January 2023. Nine of Clubs. You did complete something here that was a bit of an achievement. You're feeling very satisfied in some level. Perhaps it was taking the reins of this change that needed to happen after coming to a realization. A lot of contentment with that. So it looks like whatever happened here, even though that we do have this heartache, you're getting back on your feet, which is good to see. Because you're feeling content, satisfied. Oh, these came out together, and wow, look at that. I did shuffle these cards. Eight of Hearts, Nine of Hearts. Again, wish fulfillment with that Nine of Hearts. Again, a completion. But the thing is, the Eight of Hearts is a socialization energy. It's about going out and just having a good time with friends, family. It's also the potential to meet somebody new. You know what I'm picking up here? I'm picking up that you did meet somebody new, and it didn't last long. Yeah. Hence the completion here, but you're satisfied that you recognized it before it got out of hand. Wow, that's pretty darn clear. Yeah, something that was revealed and the change that needed to happen, something that you were not happy with. Yeah, it caused some pain though. Could have been a fire sign. Or it could have been this earth sign. I'm not sure how those players come into this context. I'm not seeing that. That's okay. If it fits your situation, take it as it fits and don't make it fit. For God's sake, don't make it fit. This is general inquiry, so take what fits. Throw out the rest. Jack of Spades. Distrust. This actually could be because this Spades is air energy. Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. This is that character if you've been to my channel before, you've heard me talk about it. It's the person who holds, they don't just hold back, they have a hidden agenda. But I think this is you, because when it represents the person or the sign I'm reading for, I see it as a bit of a distrustful energy, paranoia. You're just not liking the vibes, so you're kind of in that mindset of you can't trust people. You know what I mean? So you might have been a little bit jaded by this, whatever transpired here. It might have left a bitter taste in your mouth. Might be some residue of that, and doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but right now you're not. Yeah, you're just like, I'm just gonna pull my energy back. I'm good. I don't need to meet anybody new. And you are on a new start here with the Ace of Clubs. This is about acquiring new information or skills. So you may be diverting your energy into this. Dare I say distracting yourself? Like focusing on this instead of what transpired. You know what, the more I look at this King of Clubs, I think this is you taking control of the situation. I don't think this is somebody else. And perhaps so you have been bitten before, so now you're twice shy. Twice shy. But you also provided the counsel and guidance to yourself to get out of this mess before it became something really bad. Again, admitting something to yourself, making the change, and being a little hurt and disappointed by it. But this is not that dark of energy. This is not like somebody who's gotten screwed over and, you know, their life is upside down now because they allowed something that they probably had a clue that something was not right, and they let it go on further than it needed to and should have. Things are a bit up in the air and you're not quite sure where you're headed. This is the full energy. I get that. But I guess this is kind of the feeling that you're experiencing at the moment. The full energy is not bad. It's just that you don't know what the future holds. So there's a little bit of wisdom in that, and that knowing, well, let's say trusting, not necessarily knowing, but trusting that what happens for a reason, to push you further down your path, right? Like you leave one situation that's uncomfortable and disappointing and crappy, well, it's pushing you down the path to find something more satisfying, more wish fulfillment. And you are on this new start, probably just in general, not necessarily looking for love, but that's the up in the air energy of, okay, what's next? 8 of Spades. This is generally talks about overwork and being physically stressed and, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, and that you need to give yourself a break. I didn't pick up that this was about career. I feel like it's all about a relationship that didn't last. The work element with this could be that I mean, I'm actually getting the sense that it could be a work situation. It's just that, I mean, there's a lot of hearts out here. So there was a lot of emotion attached to it, which I don't always consider work and career as being emotional. But you know what? We do form attachments to our work. And we certainly form attachments to other people at work or who we're working with. So it could be that this was a situation that needed to end, and it was a career or a job situation. This is also the card of somebody in the workplace, you having problems with a specific person. However, if this was a relationship that was a fly-by-night situation, which I'm leaning more towards that's really going to apply to more of you, I think. The work it may not be on the level of your career. It could be the work that you put into this. You know what I'm saying? So the work is in another context. It's not income. It's about the work you put into this relationship, or perhaps you felt like you did all the work and they weren't giving back. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a different context of work. It's not the income aspect of making, doing something for a living. Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. 5 of Diamonds. Changes in your finances due to a settlement or negotiation. Sometimes this is an exchange. Like, you give me this, I'll give you that, and therefore your financial situation is changing. I'm not sure how that applies to this, so let's keep going. I'm not getting a sense of that. Although we did have that Queen of Diamonds there. Wow, it's all about pentacles in your advice. You could be a person that's, actually, you know what, I'm getting another scenario. So the overwork card. This could be where you are distracting yourself and it's become too much. Back off, Libra. You need to give yourself a break. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so this relationship turned out crappy, and this is where you're putting your energy, and it's overwork. It's working too many hours. It's stressing yourself out. But you have something connected with your finances, so that's why I'm tempted to think that's very likely what's happening here. The King of Diamonds and the Seven of Diamonds. So you have some awesome, spectacular control over your financial future here. And your finances in general. The Seven of Diamonds talks about warning against gambling or taking unnecessary financial risks. So obviously you're doing really well for yourself, especially with that King energy. Like, again, you could be focusing all of your time and energy into this now that you are not socializing, because you know there is a sense of being jaded. So you're what is that word? You're withdrawing from the social scene, maybe temporarily, and you're putting it into the work, and you're really like taking a bold stand here with your finances, but you need to be careful how you spend it. Queen of Clubs, more fire energy, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And if you were with me in December, she came out just about in every reading. She's very much like the King energy. She's just less dominant. This could be kind of the energy you're being advised to embody, or this could be somebody around you that you could seek support from, because again, she's a good guide. She's a counselor, mentor. She's generous as well. Generous with her time, resources, all of that. Yeah, you could be invited to kind of take on that Queen energy. There's some kind of connection here, and I'm trying to formulate what I mean. It's like, so you have this overemphasis on earning, right? Be careful how you spend it. Perhaps express it more in generosity. That doesn't necessarily mean like donating to charities, but you know, something along that lines. Maybe there's people around you that you know that could use your financial support right now. So that's one way you could spread the abundance, share the abundance. You know, there is a school of thought that if you don't share what you have, this especially applies to the people who are exceedingly wealthy. You can still be wealthy and enjoy it, but you need to share it, because not just because it's the right thing to do, but it allows that flow of abundance to keep coming. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Seven of Clubs. Not the outcome I was expecting here. So this is like a feeling of being a prisoner. I think it's a warning. I need to get something to drink, sorry. Sometimes the incense dries my throat out. And I do have incense burning over there. You probably can't see it. I think there's a warning here that you could become imprisoned in this. Becoming overly dominant in your earning potential, in putting all this energy into work. Because that's the warning too, the Eight of Spades, about taking a break. And that King of Diamonds. You don't want to become a slave to your income. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but it's like, that's kind of the sense I'm getting, that you're in danger of overly relying upon that. I don't know. Can somebody earn too much money? I guess if you're putting so much time and energy into that at the expense of other things. Yeah, you need to spread your energy out more diplomatically and not overly emphasizing that over other things, you know, neglecting other parts of your life. And I understand if you were jaded down here with this relationship, that you would have a tendency to do that. And we have the Queen of Spades. She's like the Jack of Spades in that she doesn't express herself though. She's not necessarily up to no good, but she because she's not speaking, she's not sharing her feelings. People are suspicious of her, so this very much could be kind of the mode that you're in. And it's also another air energy card: Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. What other cards of advice for Libra, please? Mid-January. Jack of Hearts. You're being advised to open your heart, be open in general. And along with that is that sense of vulnerability. So, yeah, with that Queen of Spades energy right next to this, I think that's kind of where you've been stuck. You're being advised to open your heart again, in general, not necessarily just for romance, but that certainly is part of it. Especially if you're being advised not to overly emphasize the financial pursuits that you're involved in. The 10 of Clubs. So, generally when I see 10s in the line of advice, I see that as a chapter that is closed. Some kind of major cycle that's ended. This is a good card though. It's a card of travel. And the travel is always for good reasons, and it could be really anything under the sun. It could be traveling a lot for pleasure. It could be traveling for good, for celebrations, like you're invited to celebrate the birth of a baby or to go to a wedding. You know, that kind of travel. It's always about positive things. Now, I also see this as traveling from one mindset to the other. So it can be symbolic and not necessarily literal. I think the message with this is, well, with the 10, I do think it's more metaphorical. And I think in the past, you had some bad relationship experience. I think you're being advised not to travel back into that mind space because it's behind you, right? Even though you had something that didn't last very long and broke your heart, or was just disappointing. Let's say it's not as monumental as I have a broken heart and you're crying in your pillow. It's just the disappointment and the loss. So you're still feeling bummed about the whole thing, but you're being advised not to go back into the perhaps the mindset of feeling that hurt and letdown all the time and like carrying it around like baggage, because the Jack of Hearts wants you to open your heart up. Yeah, I see that as more, don't travel back to that behavior, if you want to call it behavior. It's like a mind space. It's like a, it's like our energy that we put out there, our aura. It doesn't want you to go back there. That's in the past. 8 of Diamonds. Look at this. So, in general, it's the entrepreneurial card, but it's the card of solo pursuits. So, you're being encouraged in some manner, and I don't know exactly what it is, to pursue something on an individual level that's going to reap great rewards for you. Again, there's the emphasis on pentacles and monetary things. So yeah, maybe that's what you need to focus on right now. But I think you need to be careful not to overdo it. because this could become a real trap for you, because we already kind of saw that. But it's kind of hard to decipher, honestly. I mean, the solo effort could be more, not necessarily a business if you're not the small business type and you're not gonna like start your YouTube channel or or do anything, you know, on social media, for example, which a lot of people are doing these days because it's easy to set up, right? If that's not you, the solo effort could be working towards something that's going to empower you in some other way, like personal growth. And you know, I also see. So this is interesting. So the eights are generally about things going forward. It's forward movement. It's like the progression of, you know, things not being stagnant, not stuck in one place. So things are moving forward, and this is the traveling card, right? Whether it be it literal or metaphorical. So it's about, I'm kind of seeing this as you're being encouraged to keep moving forward, but in a positive mindset, in a positive space, a positive, you know, don't let this take you down back into darkness. You know, being that Queen of Spades, being that Jack of Spades, and look at this. So interesting. This is the. It's about feeling secure and solid in your home and your lifestyle. And it's also telling me you've come into a period of stress relief. So there was some kind of stress from the past. It could have stemmed from this relationship. You're experiencing that now, or you will be. Yeah, because we're looking at advice. But the work that has to be done to get into that space, again, I think it's about you championing, I don't know, yeah, I can't say that as a verb. Being the champion of your own your own advocate, and saying, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to go back into that place of being pessimistic and having no hope for the future. We're going to keep our heart open and get out of this space, because I think this is where you tend to land when things go wrong, especially in relationship. I think you tend to be the Queen of Spades. You kind of bottle it all up. You start being suspicious of people, the world at large. You just don't trust the world at large. But you also have to be careful that you don't go overboard with your work. I think the work has been, for some of you, work has been a very meaningful outlet for you to divert yourself into. But you do have a warning here again that it could become a prison in some way. It could be too much. It could go just a little bit too far. Again, I do think the Queen of Clubs, you know, mentions your ability to be a guide and a support for others, whether that's through physical generosity or in some other way. It's a very interesting message there, Libra. I am going to leave it there. I feel like this could go on and on. I hope that you gleaned some information and some insight from this. Honestly, I do. It's a tricky read. I'm glad I was mentally in a good place to kind of think through it. Sometimes these readings come out and they're pretty, you know, spot on. It's like I can identify what's going on pretty quickly, but only you would know your situation and how this all applies. And if it doesn't apply, come back and join me for the next reading, because that one might. These are general readings, right? There you go. Hey Libra, I went over the time limit on my camera here and it shut off, so I just wanted to end the video real quick. If you would like to see when the next video comes out, I think that's what I was saying when it cut. Go ahead and hit subscribe notifications, and you will get a notification when that next reading comes out. It might, if this, I think I'll repeat it again in case it got cut off. If this reading did not resonate with you, perhaps the next one will. Okay? I hope this helped, and take care until I see you again.